Hey, everybody, this is Brita Long for the Happier Attorney, and we are here on our channel to talk about attorneys and flat fees. And today, specifically, we are going to be talking about flat fee agreements. Okay. And in my Facebook group, Attorneys and Flat Fees, and if you're an attorney, please join, only if you're an attorney. We every once in a while, quite frequently, somebody will put out in the group, "Hey, does anybody have a fee agreement that they are willing to share?" And I completely understand why people ask. And years ago, I would have been the first person to ask and want somebody else's fee agreement. And that's common throughout the legal industry. And here's why it's a horrible idea to share fee agreements um, for flat fees. And to even, I mean, it's not horrible to ask, but number one, at least in the flat fee group, there are people literally all over the world in that group. And so you have no idea if their fee agreement is applicable to your state or your jurisdiction, much less your rules of professional conduct. Okay. Second, you have no idea if that's a good fee agreement or not. None. And the problem is that you get it and you think it's solid and you have no idea where the holes are or if there are holes. Okay. And so then you start using it and then you get into trouble. The third reason, the most important reason is, and you're probably not going to like this, but is the process of doing is how you learn. And so I totally understand wanting a framework for a fee agreement. And my clients, the attorneys who work directly with me, get a copy of my fee agreement. And they have to come up with their own stuff to go along with it. Because if you don't know how to do it and how to create your own fee agreement, you're not going to know the ingredients and what are critical ingredients to have in them. Okay. And one missing element in your fee agreement could get you in a lot of trouble. Now, the good news, I'm not just going to tell you, don't share fee agreements and not have a solution here. Okay. So the solution is all contained in the book, The Happier Attorney. You can get it on Amazon. Here, I'm hawking my wares. But the most important aspects that have to be in your fee agreement are the following. The first is you have to know your RPCs. There's no excuse to not know them, but they're critical. And specifically in regard to flat fees, and this is for the United States that I'm talking about, you need to know and be crystal clear on whether in your jurisdiction you can say whether your fee is earned upon receipt or not. If it is earned upon receipt, it is critical that that money is going to go into your operating account. That needs to be in your fee agreement. Okay. And all of this is also in the Happier Attorney. Okay. So if you're feverishly taking notes, don't worry about it. It's in the Happier Attorney. If you, in most jurisdictions, it's not earned upon receipt. You can't say that. Then it goes into your trust account until it is earned. That language needs to be in your fee agreement. It needs to be crystal clear to your client when the money is theirs and when the money is yours and where it's going to go. Okay. Number two, if you are using flat fees, generally you're not going to be tracking your time and you're certainly not billing by your time. Okay. That needs to be in there, that you are not tracking your time, that your client is not going to get a monthly statement. That needs to be in your fee agreement. This is critical. You need to have an end date to your representation. Critical. An end date and an end event, whichever occurs first in time. And there's far more detail about this in the book. But if you don't have that, in theory, your representation could go on forever. Okay. So, for instance, if you are doing a estate plan You need to have how long this is going to take and give yourself a little buffer. So, this agreement only lasts for, 4 months, 5 months, or until I have completed the drafting of, whatever you're hired to do. Okay. It needs to be in your control. So if somebody ghosts you, you can still get your money. But you have to have the end date in your representation agreement for a fee agreement, for a flat fee. Okay. You also want it crystal clear what it covers, what that fee agreement covers, and what it doesn't. Okay. This only covers this action and these things in the action. Okay. My fee agreements always covered everything in the action. If I'm in it, I'm in it. I'm going to do what needs to be done, but that needs to be clear. All right. You also, of course, want your regular CYA stuff that you would have in a normal fee agreement. Okay. You also want, depending on your practice area, this is going to be more important than some other things, other practice areas, but you also want client behavior provisions in your fee agreement. What your client can expect from you, what your duties are, because they don't understand. Okay. They really don't know that they cannot just pick up the phone and talk to you all the time. They really don't understand. So, the normal things like office hours, but what do you expect from them? What can they expect from you? When are you going to call them back? What is an emergency? What is not an emergency? And what can you expect from them? What will you expect from them? What behavior is going to get them fired? Boundaries. You're starting boundaries early on with your clients. Now, you have to enforce those boundaries. Critical. You can't just say, well, it was in my fee agreement. You have to enforce those boundaries because there are some clients who are going to start pushing those boundaries from the get-go, and you have to nip that in the bud right away. Okay. Now, something to keep in mind, and this I really didn't get for many, 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 many years in practice. I give my clients, I think it was like a 5-page single space fee agreement. I'd go over it with them and they'd sign it and we're done. Right. And then I'd be like, what was in the fee agreement? I didn't understand that people absolutely, first of all, any normal person can only retain 4 to 7 pieces of information at a time. Okay. And that's on a normal day. Now put yourself in your client's position. They're in your office. They're probably nervous. A lot of times they're in your office because of something bad that has happened or that's going to happen, whatever. Okay. So their emotions are heightened anyway. And they have just given you a lot of personal information. And then they're signing this, and we are expecting them to remember it. That's not how it works. That's not how their brain is going to work. And that's not a realistic expectation for you to have of them. So, if something is really important in your fee agreement, you need to go over it with them. And I would say absolutely no more than 4 or 5 things. Period. Period. And I would say, this is really important and, people forget it. And then this is what happens. I'll fire you. Okay. Like you can be very direct with people. I mean it. This is not CYA language. Okay. Again, the dates, when is representation going to end? What will get them fired? The really, really important things, maybe not so much the CYA things. Okay. So, and, in your fee agreement, you want what's necessary to be in there, of course, but, don't think that you just need to throw in the kitchen sink. If it's really not necessary to be in there, it doesn't need to be in there. Okay? Really. I know everybody wants to see it, CYA and, oh, it's in my fee agreement. But sometimes we overload and then it detracts from what the client really needs to pay attention to. So that was a lot of information. Again, all of this is contained in the Happier Attorney. Okay. And if you want more information on working with me, go to britalong.com, BRITALONG.com, and join Attorneys and Flat Fees on Facebook. Only if you're an attorney. If you're not an attorney, you're not getting in. Sorry. And hope this helps clear up the flat fee. I know it's a pain. I know it's going to be a pain to write your own fee agreement. here's what I will say. It's not going to be a tenth of the pain that you think it's going to be. So set a time frame. Seriously, I have yet to work with an attorney that wants to do it on their own. But when I say you're switching your current fee agreement into a flat fee, here's the elements. Again, all contained in the Happier Attorney. I've given them a time frame of like 15 minutes. They're all done in like 7 to 10. Okay? Don't make this a bigger project than it is. And once you have that, if you want to take a great provision from somebody else's, great. But it is important that you do the base work yourself, okay? So that you understand everything that needs to be in it and you fully understand what is missing in anybody else's agreement. Okay? So hope this helps. If you like it, subscribe, comment. If you got anything out of it, write in the comments. This is also the time to ask any questions in the comments or in the Facebook group. So I don't see any comments, so we'll wrap it up. So thank you for watching, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.